Kamala Harris, as the Democratic Party's candidate for the 2024 presidential election, stands at the forefront with a bold vision for America's future. Her platform addresses key issues such as economic equality, climate change, healthcare, and social justice, aiming to bring meaningful change to the country. In this video, we'll dive deep into Harris's top 10 campaign promises, analyzing the reasoning behind each one and how they could impact the nation moving forward. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. Your likes, comments, and shares are crucial to help us grow and continue producing quality videos like this one. 1. Affordable healthcare for all. Harris is committed to expanding healthcare access for all Americans. She aims to strengthen and improve the Affordable Care Act, ACA, by introducing a public option that would allow citizens to enroll in a Medicare-like system. Harris believes healthcare should be a right, not a privilege, and plans to reduce prescription drug prices and expand Medicaid. One of the starkest differences between Harris and Donald Trump is their stance on healthcare. While Trump attempted to dismantle the ACA, Harris vows to preserve and enhance it, ensuring millions of uninsured Americans gain coverage. 2. Tackling climate change head-on. Harris has positioned herself as a fierce advocate for climate action. She supports the Green New Deal and aims to achieve net-zero carbon emissions by 2050. Her plan includes rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement, a move that Trump famously reversed, and investing heavily in renewable energy sources. Harris's climate policy contrasts sharply with Trump's deregulation efforts, where he prioritized the fossil fuel industry and rolled back numerous environmental protections. Harris's approach emphasizes sustainable growth, while Trump's focused on short-term economic benefits at the expense of long-term environmental impact. 3. Racial and economic justice. Harris's platform focuses heavily on promoting racial and economic justice. She advocates for policies that address systemic racism, such as affordable housing, education reform, and economic opportunities for marginalized communities. Harris also supports raising the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour and enforcing fair pay legislation. Trump, in contrast, has been criticized for his handling of racial issues, particularly following the Black Lives Matter protests. Harris has directly criticized Trump for failing to acknowledge systemic racism, positioning herself as a candidate focused on equity and inclusion. 4. Universal pre-K and affordable childcare. Harris believes in leveling the playing field for all children by providing universal pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds and making childcare affordable for working families. She sees early education as crucial for long-term success and aims to reduce the burden on parents, particularly women, who are disproportionately affected by the lack of affordable childcare. This policy stands in opposition to Trump's education policies, which did not prioritize early education initiatives and focused more on school choice rather than universal access. 5. Police reform and criminal justice overhaul. As a former prosecutor, Harris has first-hand experience with the criminal justice system. She promises to implement comprehensive police reform, including banning chokeholds, mandating body cameras, and ending qualified immunity for law enforcement officers. Harris also supports ending mass incarceration by promoting alternatives to prison for nonviolent offenses. Trump, on the other hand, has taken a law and order approach, supporting aggressive police tactics and often downplaying concerns about systemic racism in law enforcement. This is a significant point of contention between the two, with Harris advocating for reform and accountability, while Trump emphasizes law enforcement empowerment. 6. Women's rights and reproductive health. Harris is a staunch advocate for women's rights, particularly in the area of reproductive health. She vows to protect Roe v. Wade, the landmark Supreme Court decision that legalized abortion. Harris plans to codify the right to abortion into federal law, ensuring that women have the freedom to make decisions about their own bodies, regardless of state-level restrictions. This contrasts sharply with Trump, who has appointed conservative judges to the Supreme Court with the intention of overturning Roe v. Wade. Harris has also promised to reverse Trump's restrictions on federal funding for organizations that provide reproductive health services, such as Planned Parenthood. 7. Gun control and public safety. Harris has long been an advocate for stricter gun control laws. She supports universal background checks, banning assault weapons, and closing loopholes that allow individuals with a history of violence or mental illness to obtain firearms. Trump, in contrast, has been backed by the National Rifle Association, NRA, and has resisted efforts to implement stricter gun control measures. Harris's plan focuses on reducing gun violence, especially in schools and public spaces, while Trump's policies have emphasized protecting Second Amendment rights. 8. Economic growth through innovation. Harris plans to spur economic growth by investing in infrastructure, technology, and small businesses. Her policies include creating millions of jobs through clean energy initiatives, modernizing the nation's roads, bridges, and broadband infrastructure, and supporting innovation in the tech sector. This contrasts with Trump's economic policies, which largely focused on tax cuts for corporations and deregulation. Harris aims to foster long-term economic growth through sustainable innovation, while Trump's policies were more centered on immediate economic boosts through tax reductions and deregulation. 9. Immigration reform. Harris supports comprehensive immigration reform that includes a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, especially Dreamers who were brought to the U.S. as children. She plans to end Trump's controversial immigration policies, including family separations at the border and the construction of the border wall. Harris advocates for humane immigration policies that address the root causes of migration, such as poverty and violence in Central America, and aims to reform the asylum system to ensure fair treatment of refugees and migrants. 10. Strengthening democracy and voting rights. Harris promises to protect and expand voting rights, focusing on combating voter suppression tactics that disproportionately affect communities of color. She supports automatic voter registration, restoring voting rights to formerly incarcerated individuals, and making Election Day a national holiday. Trump has been accused of encouraging voter suppression, particularly through his baseless claims of widespread voter fraud in the 2020 election. Harris's platform promotes expanding access to the ballot box, in stark contrast to Trump's efforts to tighten voting restrictions. Kamala Harris's campaign is built on the foundation of equality, justice, and opportunity for all. Her promises reflect a desire to tackle the most pressing issues facing America today and create a future where every citizen has the chance to thrive. Whether it's healthcare, climate change, or criminal justice reform, Harris is committed to making significant changes that will leave a lasting impact on the country. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, please subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to like, share, and leave your comments below. Your support helps us grow and continue bringing you the latest on political and social issues.